folks. Hey folks. Hey folks. So, somebody has inspired me to go on a mission, and I'm going to keep the mission a little secret for now. I'll reveal eventually, but we're going to keep it a little secret, a little bit of a secret for now. It's going to have to be. Oh God, that is loud. My fault. It's going to have to be. An ongoing mission that's going to take a little while, but eventually it's going to happen. But I was inspired, so I'm gonna do this. But like I said, it may take a little time. But part of you got to start somewhere, right? Part of the mission starts at some point. So I was inspired. I'm on a mission. So that's it. That's all you're getting. You're not getting anything else. But anyway, nothing toxic or anything. Just a mission. All right, here we go. On our mission. Beginning. First part. Are you serious, dude? Okay. On a mission. said when I started, guys, I'm inspired. Somebody inspired me to start a little bit of a mission for something, and I'll reveal once it's complete. But I have started said mission. This is the beginning. So today is the beginning, marks the beginning of said mission. And I'm not going to tell you, I'll tell you, if I tell you who the inspiration is, you'll probably be able to figure it out. So I'm not gonna say anything yet. I will eventually tell you, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to reveal that until obviously the mission's complete. I'll reveal everything then, and it'll be obvious. I probably won't even need to say it. It'll be obvious, but that's sort of kind of why I'm not saying that. So. Traffic's pretty good. You know what I mean? It may not. I'm aware that there's like stream interference and stuff like that. It is what it is. It's 5G plus, so AT&T. As long as we have 2 bars, it should be able to handle it. So again, that's just somebody interfering again. So yeah, this app can handle that. Traffic's good though. Nice. A good day. I mean, it's rush hour, but it's a weekend. So rush hour on the weekend, doesn't necessarily apply. It may not. You'll hit a weekend where you'll get rush hour like traffic, and then some weekends you won't. I mean, it just it's not. Sometimes the weekend's really, really busy, like lunchtime. Those are your traffic jam. But I mean, that doesn't. Yeah, I mean, like that's the area, I would assume. Like that's going to be different depending on, like where you talk. It's not necessarily the case there. That's just the case wherever I'm used to. Full service. I'm going to go ahead. I have 4G LTE full service. I have 4G LTE full service, and we're going to go over this later, that this just non-stop interference. So basically, it's been interference ever since I started talking about how the traffic was pretty good. Traffic wasn't bad. So again, this is it's police and ICE and stuff when like they're trying to make you upset and stuff like that. So I'm saying the traffic's fine, it's flowing nice, and they want to break up the stream and cause problems. So again, we've had the service is totally fine, and they're just sitting here breaking up the stream, and stuff like that. So that's the gist of what's happening again, and it's malicious tools being used again. It's not something they're supposed to be doing, and which is why it's crashing all the servers and stuff like that. They're using malicious tools, and then scammers are going behind them trying to figure out how to breach it. So because they shouldn't be doing this and they're just doing it nonstop and stuff like that, all these scammers are trying to breach it, which is why all these systems are going down these all these different systems. They think they know the root cause, but they really don't. Like, it's really just because, again, like, they're doing there's all these things they're doing that they shouldn't be, and then so it causes all these problems. And then again, because they're doing it to an extreme amount to too many people, it's just full exposure on how the system works and stuff like that, where normally it would be just here and there as it's needed, but they're just doing it to too many people. It's just like they're doing it to everybody, basically. So, I'll have like full service and I'm driving down the highway, and that's the point, is full service and stuff like that, and they're just moving the bit rate around and stuff, even though it's full service. The whole point is to get a reaction and stuff like that. Again, like I said earlier, for purposes for that reaction, again, they want to continue pressing this issue that people online need to be, like streamers and stuff like that. Like that I really feel like a lot of police are pushing this issue where they're trying to over-police and overstep what their branch allows them to do. There's the judicial, executive, and legislative branches of the government, and they are often now, that's the point. That's why that oftentimes those laws and stuff like that are unconstitutional and stuff, and they need to be stricken because, if you have a situation where a cop is now becoming the judge in a situation where that doesn't go to a judge to look at, you're having a cop cite somebody for something where he makes a determination versus seeing a crime definitively. It's just cut and dry. Somebody was harming somebody else. This is a definitive thing that would harm somebody else, and therefore that cop gets to make that judgment, versus now, and that's not really the case. They just want to be able to, kind of, control what people do and stuff like that. And if they see somebody saying something bad about police online or something and they don't like it, they want to be able to, shift the bit rate around and cause a problem for that person. And in reality, that's what they're doing. So somewhere along the way, this administration was, convinced by somebody that this is, to catch criminals or something like that, but really it's just to attack free speech and attack people that are exercising their free speech rights on social media platforms. That is terrorism. That's the definition of it. You are using politics to attack people. You're terrorizing people and harming people for no real reason except that you disagree with their viewpoints and how they do things, how they go about living their lives. That's terrorism, man. You're just trying to force an ideal on people. So anyway, here we are. But yeah, that was what was happening. It was really, really breaking up there, and that's the reaction they want. They want like some crazy over-the-top reaction because that's what they got out of me, for X amount of time. So that's the whole point. They think that they're just going to keep getting this reaction. So the whole point was that while that was happening, you were supposed to notice that the stream would get, at various times it would suddenly get clear, and stuff like that. But then conveniently break up when I mentioned Donald Trump or something like that. Conveniently, as soon as I'm like talking about, Donald, because this, and it's like very condemning to him, like that conveniently right then that section will be missing, and it's like we already proved that doesn't really happen, even at 4G LTE 2 bars, the service doesn't become disrupted. Like I'm using like an intentionally lower bit rate. Like that's the point. You guys get that? Like that I'm not really sitting here trying to overstep the boundaries of what the device can even handle, and there's been extra room. And so that's why they've really had to go out of their way, because that's the whole point. The device can handle plenty, and I'm not even barely using to that extent. And so that's always been the point, is to try to convince people that you can do that with your phone and stuff like that's probably what most people say behind the scenes, because the point is the reality is most people do use their phones for all these things, games and have all this nonsense on it and stuff like that has ads, trackers, cookies, and does bog your phone down. But I really don't do that. I really literally don't do that. What's up, guys? Hey. Jerry Lewis says bags of air. That's amazing. Skaith says hi. Hey, cool. Delisto, is that how you say that? Says hello. Anna says hello. Hello everyone. I appreciate you guys watching the stream. And as I start my mission, do you guys want to see these clouds are badass, man? That's so good. Yeah. All these clouds, man. Pretty cool. But anyway, I'm gonna start my mission. So you guys know the deal. Most places, they typically don't really want you doing this, so I typically just turn it off, and that way I'm not really recording anything. And at the same time, once in a while, if there's music or something, I try to mute. I really am not trying to get that on the stream if I can avoid it. So the whole point is, like, if it really seems like there's other stuff in the frame, I'm trying not to film that stuff as much as I can. But, I mean, like, honestly, truthfully, they really don't care. It's more like other people. Like, you really don't want to be filming other people too much and stuff like that. Yeah, there it is already. Sorry. I'm still here. Okay. I think we're away from the music for now. But there may be, other music as head towards stores and stuff like that. And that's typically what's going to happen. So, what we're going to do about that. Here we go. Oh yeah, they got music in here. Hold on. No, that was anticlimactic. Alright, so the mission continues. We got, oh man, I want to go and express men, but I am not going to do that. Nope. It's a good store though, highly recommend. For those guys that like to look nice, you like to look dapper, highly recommend. If you see express men, highly recommend. That's some decent stuff. Some decent stuff. If you want like a full on like just you want to know where to shop, like you want to look nice but you don't want to break the bank, I highly recommend Kohl's actually. If we're actually just looking for a full on recommendation, that's my full. I recommend Kohl's. Highly recommend Kohl's. Man, you guys can probably hear all of that, can't you? I'm trying to avoid it. It's just like out here in the mall, you know? Alright. So let's see here. Oh jeez, that is loud, sorry. My fault. You guys probably couldn't even hear me this time. I'm just trying not to get the music and the, you know what I mean? Just trying to avoid it. It's just been like sporadically loud. Okay, here we go. Now we're talking. What the? Oh, geez, we got music in here too. Hold on. sec. Okay, here's the deal. Half of my mission is a success. Half of my mission was a success. The other half, not so much. So, I'm gonna do what I can. But, that's okay. This is how missions go, you know. This is how the journey is, you know. You start it somewhere and you have some bumps, you know. So it's okay. At least those half successful here. But the mission continues. Oh my god, those candles look amazing. I need to walk away. Alright, mission half successful. Really nice looking candle. All right, I'm gonna try to get out of here so that we can go through this here. And I think that's porous, just sort of, yeah. That's it. That's it, man. I don't need to go in the Christmas store. Do not need to. Must leave. Must resist the urge. Have more candles.
On the acorn.
It's the urge to get more candles. Alright, so my daily mission, like my vlog-ish, daily chore-ish mission is not over yet, but as far as the other mission, the inspired mission that I spoke of, That's somewhat anticlimactic. Yeah, like anticlimactic. Yeah, it really is, because it did not happen. It did not happen. And oh well, it is what it is. So we'll just deal with it. Let me get it back in here. So I'm gonna finish my caffeine. That was pretty anticlimactic, as you know. So I must complete my normal daily, chore. Got to do that. But other than that, man, that sucks for the mission. Already a road bump. But that's okay. That's okay. It's okay. We'll go over that. We'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll go over the road bumps and the stuff that happened, so that way you guys know, sort of what happened as the mission continued. This mission's crazy. Full side mission status. Is it a main story mission? It's not. It's a side mission. But that's okay. Side quest. Which one will I choose first? Let me finish my cold breath. I thought I turned that off. Ugh. turned it off. Sorry about that. The button turns down like it's set to detect whatever sound is playing. So sometimes, like, if there's like a sound that's more like this or that, as I'm turning it down, it'll not turn down the entire thing. That's why. Because it's just turning down the sound of the source detected. So, like, if it would happen to be, like, notifications versus, like that versus something else, it's the sort of thing where it turns that down instead of the whole thing. So that's what happened there, I think. Wait. They're having a trick-or-treat inside the mall. Hold on, I'm gonna look at when that happens. Give me a sec. You can trick-or-treat inside the mall, apparently. Friday, October 31st from 5 to 7. That's pretty cool that they do that. I wonder if they've done that before. Well, there you go. Yeah, that's cool. Ooh, I smell it right away. It just wafts. Hey. That's a car. I thought it was a motorcycle. Sorry. I don't think this is the same brand I'm used to, but these are good. Wow. They have an expiration date printed on them too, so that's good to see that. Alright, let's try strawberry. Okay, strawberry. I think it's the brand Kasugai? Is that how you say that? Kasugai? This one's struggling. It's like coated in sugar. I mean, it's not like a lot, but there's definitely some sugar coating to it. It's probably just the natural glucose coming straight out of the thing, I'll be honest with you. It very well might be. Like as it sits in the packaging and stuff. Because the other one didn't feel like this. It's probably just the glucose just sort of kind of coming to the surface. Yeah, because it doesn't even feel like real granules. It feels like natural sugars almost. It's good too. Good. Yes, I can do that with one hand. I can do it like this. I do not recommend doing it like this. I did it like this for a long time. If you do it like this, what's going to happen is you're just going to spray out. Do it with your palm, like this. See now, like, did you hear that? So now, like, I can quickly move it to, like, a different area as it does that. Because it's because of the ball and the way it's designed, it's sometimes a delay. That's why it happens when you take the thing off. Did you ever sprayed with this? Yeah, that's why. Because it's a delay, because it's to the lip. And then the ball actually holds the pressure. So as soon as you pull that off, it shifts the ball and just... It's just the suction of the thing, the physics of it. See what I mean? Some of these, the ball gets stuck up there too, like it just did. And you gotta push it back down. And it's like that. It's like all sticky. Hold on. It's all sticky, man. It's good though. Okay. This thing off though. It got on here, so that's just gonna get red on my hands. There we go. And that's not all sticky. Wait. Is that the same guy? Oh, no, never mind. This says... No, it does sound different than the other. See, that actually sounds better. I think it was a vet, actually. It literally says, warning, do not swallow the pusher. Just in case you were thinking about doing that. Like, what the f... You actually put that on there. It's really good, though. I like this one. When it says that, it's like, when it says that, it's basically strawberry. Basically. Like, it's like berry. So. That's what I learned. It just ends up tasting sort of strawberry. Sounds good. All right. Mango. Do you remember? Do you remember the character Mango that Chris Kattan played on SNL? Phenomenal. Wasn't her name Mango? Her, him, I don't know. I guess it's supposed to be playing a female. Yeah, Chris Kattan from SNL. He would like basically like mock J-Lo. But J-Lo would, like, she was all in on it. She was totally for it. She showed up for a few of them, and it was so funny. Yeah, Mango. Because I remember there was one time where he's like, Mango, and she's like, J-Lo. I love Chris Kattan. He's so funny. He was the other guy opposite Will Ferrell in Night at the Roxbury. Remember Night at the Roxbury? One of my favorite comedies. He was opposite Will Ferrell. That's Chris Kattan. I love Chris Kattan. Hugely underrated. That guy can play anybody. Hugely underrated. He should have been like a Gary Oldman. Seriously. Nobody ever used his talents that way though. I'm dead serious. Guy was phenomenal. Still probably is. He could play a bad guy probably, if he wanted to. No, I dropped it. Oh my god. Hold on. I got it. Dust it off a little bit. Didn't go very far. So that's what it looks like. Oh, why is my nail all broken? Well, probably because I bite them. So there's that one. Oh, that's good. That's fucking good. He was bitching about prices. He's like, fucking prices. Probably didn't know I was sitting here. Alright, let's try the watermelon. I feel for you, man. I do. Wow, these are red. Look at that. They just look sharp. Yeah, I could see these, you know, sitting on a streamer's desk, right? You got the LEDs lit. It's like low light. And these are just spread out on the desk. And it looks crisp, right? Alright, we got watermelon here. These are great for streaming and for gaming and stuff. They are, because again, they're individually packaged. You don't have to reach into a bag. It's just, they're very clean. You know, that's the whole point. You just grab one and you gotta worry about falling out and stuff. No, you could just put them out on your desk, open one at a time, and you gotta love that. I mean, probably people are wondering, well, what's the point of that? Those who don't work office setting or keyboard, mouse, probably don't understand that. And also travel. You want things packaged. And when you travel, often on plane and stuff, they must be sealed. So, technically speaking, this is okay because every single package in here is sealed. So put it in a Ziploc bag. Empty this into a Ziploc bag so they can see that. But yeah, they're all... So that would probably be okay. You get inspected probably, but you'd probably be okay. Ah. I think this is the last one, right? I don't think we have any more. Yes, correct. Peach. I love how these tear. They don't even need a tear here. They just tear properly. So every single one of these, I have not had a single issue tearing them open. Thank you. Thank you. These fruit snack companies don't understand that. Like the gummy bears and stuff. They don't understand that, that's for sure. So this is peach. This is the final flavor that we got here. This one was not covered in sugar like some of the other ones were. So maybe it is on purpose. Don't know. It's not like, again, it just feels like natural sugars. It's not coated in sugar. It's not like that. It just tastes like a gummy bear. Really good. But like more of a natural flavoring. It's good, man. I like it. It's very natural tasting. Yeah, real fruit juice. Yeah, it says it right there. So that's not surprising. I'm sure that there's probably artificial. Yeah, there is, but there's natural flavors in there too. So they did a good job with that. I think it's good. It's a good product. So I got this. I'll put it. In there from earlier. All right. Oh my. What is this world coming to? I just watched a lady, not cripple or anything, she's perfectly able. I just watched her as she dropped trash on the ground, stared at it, ignored it. Like she did it on purpose, like she had it in her hand, and she went like this. She looked at it, got in her car, and they're now driving away. Just dropped trash in the parking lot. And you have to, like, I get it that somebody cleans the parking lot. I get that. But what if it's a windy day and that blows to where it blows to? Now, that theory goes out the window, doesn't it? So that's the problem with people like that. They should clean the parking lot. No, you shouldn't drop trash on the ground. Theoretically, they shouldn't have to clean the parking lot. Clean the parking lot is for, like, you know, you park your car there, you can't, I mean, somebody's got an old clunker, they can't help that. Maybe it leaks a little bit, so they clean the parking lot. But, I mean, like, it shouldn't be trash. It shouldn't just be trash. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Get stuck again. Some of these are designed like the ball is just a little bit, you know, like the design is a little bit different than the others, and it gets stuck sometimes when you're drinking it. And then others, it'll just never happen. There's a brand, Snow Fox. Snow Fox is really good about that, and they're pretty good. They make the Ramune soda. Not that this isn't bad. This is good too. But yeah, I don't ever have any issues with it seemingly getting stuck or anything like that. That one anyway. And you know, it looks pretty much the same as this. They're different though. They have their own flavors and stuff like that. So, you know, it's not all the same. They do taste different. This one's pretty good though. Cherry maybe. Cherry, strawberry maybe. I think it has that sort of flavor to it. Ah, hell. Done. Done. Time for the next one. Looks pretty good, man. Looks pretty good, man. I don't know. Looks pretty freaking good. Look at the color. Doesn't the color look good? Look at that. I think it looks good. Alright, this is watermelon. And it's... I guess it's sort of pink. I guess it is. It looks orange at first because of the label. It actually, the liquid is pink. I had to hold it up to the sun. It is pink. This one was designed a little better. It didn't. It fizzed up, but it only went so far. because the thing designed to push in was designed to allow air to escape. That's the problem. The little thing isn't designed with like grooves to allow air to escape, so it's like a trash can bag when you pull a trash can out. Which, by the way, life tip, by the way, I was gonna make it short, but screw it. Life tip, by the way. Trash cans, home trash cans and stuff like that you don't need a lid for, that, you know, you just have open and stuff like that, I highly recommend buying like a clothes hamper or something. I've started doing that, and partially the reason for that is because there's holes all around it. So as soon as you pull the trash bag out, the thing just falls down. And you can just grab it anywhere and pull on it. So it's not like you gotta, like, you know, find a spot to pull on the thing and it's suctioning to the bag. No. And even if you need to pull on just like a little bit of hook on the side, it just kind of it just falls right off. So that's again just a modern design flaw that nobody ever fixed about these sorts of things. And so just throwing that out there. It's as basic as understanding that laundry hampers oftentimes are a little bit cheaper than trash cans too. So anyway, there you go. Life tip, life hack. Next time you're at the store and you need a trash can that you don't have to cover, buy a laundry hamper instead. Seriously, they're the same size too. The bag will fit, I promise. It'll, as long as you get a tall kitchen bag, or like a, you know, like an outside garbage bag, like one big enough for one of those big kitchen trash bags. Not, you know, like a big one, not a medium sized like office one, but like a big kitchen sort of trash bag that you would throw outside in your dumpster. You know, like a big one. As long as you're getting those, because it's big. It's going to be bigger than the, you know. And but that's the point. You know, a tall kitchen trash can or something like that. You know, you could use those bags anyway. So I'm just throwing that out there again. Trust me, it's the sort of thing where as soon as you do it, you're like, oh man, why didn't I do this sooner? And then there's so much cheaper, because it's less plastic too that they're using to make that. It just makes sense. It's sort of like when I made that mouse pad cleaning video. I'm like, that's why I never made it. I was like, people had to know by now. And I was even on, like, not to make him sound bad, because Linus knows what he's talking about, but I was even on Linus Tech Tips, and somebody asked him how to clean a mouse pad, and even he said, oh, just wipe it down. And so I'm just like, okay, people just never thought about this or figured it out, that's all. So I need to just put this out there, so it's out there once and for all. And then it'll just be more like, why didn't we ever just do this? Your mouse pad's made of cloth. Why wouldn't you just wash it out in the sink like a hand wash thing, throw it in the dryer like anything else that you would hand wash? Well, that's the point. That's exactly what you would do to actually properly clean it. Just like why sponges were made and stuff like that eventually, instead of using, you know, rags for everything, because they clean better. And you won't go and use that rag. You won't, like, transfer whatever nasty crap is on the rag. You can rinse out a sponge better. You know, like, it's just the right thing for the right job. It's the same sort of thing with that. Same sort of thing for the trash can. It's just like maybe like things that, you know, I figured out to make my life a little easier along the way. Maybe other people just never figured it out, so I just pass it along, sort of thing, you know. It's good. It is. It is definitely watermelon. The mall's closing soon. You guys are probably like, what? Why? Around here, everything closes on Sunday. Actually, around here, a lot of stuff is actually just closed. I can't go to a lot of places I would normally go around this area because everything's closed on Sunday. And likewise, a lot of the businesses just don't get business past a certain point. Everybody, just at home resting. I guess that's, what they're doing. Because a lot of places they do close up early, and like the mall closes at 6, like 3 hours before it normally does, basically. So the sun's going down. The sun's going down. I could not. Yeah, that's crazy. I could not get what I wanted from my mission. I started my mission today, as you guys know. That is the precursor to this. And I could not get what I needed for my mission. At least we got some snacks. I got some snacks, and that's okay, because I needed my snacks. Trust me, I do need those. But I wanted to start my mission. That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, the sun. Oh, it's gone. Oh, it's about to be back. The sun. My face. It's all my face. My face. You don't have a stop sign. Keep going. The people that stop there, not realizing they don't have a stop sign. There's this turn coming into this mall where everybody does that. Everybody stops, but they don't have a stop sign. Because you assume that you do. But you don't. Have the right of way. Raymore and Flanagan. That's what they just put a Raymore and Flanagan. Oh, be my guest. Yes, go ahead. Maybe I should have gone to the grocery store. It was right there. That's okay. It is what it is now. I'm on the highway now. A Porsche GT something or other. It's a GT4, right? GT something. I don't think I've ever actually seen one of those. Like in real life. That's cool. It just went flying by. I mean, he's not going like super fast or anything. Just, I'm getting off and he's not. He's actually driving pretty reasonable for what an interesting day so far. suddenly get alert. So, we're documenting all the problems that these police are causing for people's devices and breaking for their devices, doing illegal things that they should not be doing to citizens in the first place. So we're just recording and documenting all of this stuff that's breaking as they sit here and do these illegal things that they're really not supposed to be doing anyway, using malicious tools to monitor the platform and harass people for the sake of geopositioning them, to pull them over, harass them, things like that. The ICE is doing this. Again, right as the connection became severed, I looked to my right and saw an unmarked police car following this vehicle on a side road at the exact speed that I was going. So I'm not stupid, okay? I know what you're doing. And we've been documenting this and keeping an eye on it. We just talked the other day about how I was driving through town. I got tailgated and harassed by a Trump voter in a truck, and I had to then set up my stream to make sure this wouldn't happen, and then conveniently after that, all these random police came out of nowhere to drive past the area with their lights on, but then proceed to not pull anybody over. Almost like they're trying to be seen with their lights on, but they're not pulling anybody over. They didn't pull anybody over. So, if anything, that's worse. That proves that they're willing to sit there and turn their lights on for the sake of lying. Sitting here and trying to lie to you and actually using real police vehicles and stuff like that to sell this lie. So again, it's the sort of thing where it's very extremely open in this area. There's towers everywhere. The connection is very solid, and it's the sort of thing where I have done this before. We've done this before. It doesn't cause these things. It doesn't cause the bit rate to shift around. I have completely full service, and this is the point, is they are doing malicious things to make it seem like you're not at certain times, but that's very segmented. As soon as you get past that and do what you do to fix that, immediately it's gone. And they like it's very obvious they're just doing malicious things to cause that now. So that's the point. It's not actually it's not actually a disruption with the service. Like I said, they are causing those disruptions, and they would actually sit here and fuck with AT&T and all these different services that people use just for the sake of covering their own asses. So basically, that's what you're looking at, where all these services went down overnight and nobody knows, because you're allowing these police agencies to investigate this and lie about it. They're just lying about it. Just like when police illegally don't show security footage to somebody of an illegal thing that happened to them. It's not legal. You can't do that. You have to release that footage. If those police have seen that, they must release that footage to the person requesting that if they're involved in it. Like it happened to that person, and those police are holding on to that. Those police look like criminals, because the whole point is they're holding on to that, not releasing that because they did it. So that's the point. Like, those police are criminals. That's the effort of police, though. Like, we know now they're criminals. And this is what we're finding out about, is essentially there's all these different police departments all over, really. But it's really bad where I am, because it's the middle of fucking nowhere. And so this is the point, is all these police have been sitting here doing these things probably forever. Illegal things to harass people and shit they're not supposed to be doing instead of real police work. Where, this is what police are doing, the detectives and stuff like that, instead of what they should be doing all day. You get what I'm saying? Like, my point is that it's not the guy that's answering call after call after call after call. The whole point is he can't do what he's supposed to do because those detectives aren't actually stopping crime, they're creating it. So the guy that gets promoted should be doing his job, but instead they sit here and find a reason to incriminate somebody, lie about it, bring up a whole court case, literally just make some shit up. This is the whole point, is this, they don't stop real crime. So all this real crime's going on because the detectives are assholes and idiots that aren't doing their jobs. And so, literally all this stuff's getting backlogged on a real police because detectives are sitting here capitalizing on doing nothing, which is the entire workforce. It's not limited to fast food. It's not limited to Walmart. It's not limited to Amazon just because you hear about people urinating in bottles at their stations and stuff. That was just the beginnings of that. No, this is police too. This is everything. This is capitalism winning, where the bosses and stuff in charge don't want to do anything and pass the buck on to, it was their fault, they didn't do this or this or this and stuff like that. But meanwhile, no, they're the ones that literally are responsible for this at the end of the day. And just like the whole thing that happened at TwitchCon, that happened on Twitch's watch. We always knew something really bad was coming because of the way they act with stuff like that. How long did they let that shit go on where with women streaming in bikinis and swimming pools and shit like that? And meanwhile, the second that a guy does it, he's removed that fucking day. There's a double standard where basically the whole point is they're totally fine with women on display, but the moment that a guy does it, they don't want to see that shit and promote it. And so the whole point is there's no other side to that. The whole point is that if you would look at that the other way, okay, even if you're trying to say it's fine, as long as both people do it, the whole point is the whole point is they weren't allowing both. The whole point is that it is a double standard. Women are being used, and it shouldn't be anybody being used. It shouldn't be guys, it shouldn't be women, it shouldn't be LGBTQ, it shouldn't be anybody. The whole point is there should be a universal standard that we recognize that something is bad, and you don't monetize it, you don't allow it, you get rid of it, and stuff like that. So then this culture exists for X amount of time, it gets worse, it gets worse, it gets worse, and eventually, just out of the natural sense of things, it happens. Where the behavior in people doesn't change, people are allowed to continue to act like this and behave like this. It's not stopped because nobody stopped it early enough. So it just keeps going on and keeps going on and keeps going on. And that's the point, is you can't allow this type of behavior in the workplace, where the whole point is, I was even raising red flags about that years ago. I actually would joke with my boss, and he thought it was funny because it was true. The whole point was that if I said half the things Donald Trump says, I'd get fired for it. And, the whole point is, yeah, you would. So, why are we allowing this man and anybody allowing this? Because these people, there's so many people that are getting away with that behavior in the workforce and every day. That's why. Because it just allows this lawlessness, this ridiculous sense of protection of essentially it just allows this protection to go away, where you wouldn't want to protect people, and that's not good. The whole point is everybody, the moment that happens, the whole point is that's what you always, that's the true evil in the world. The whole point is that people aren't, you want to believe that somebody's not inherently bad and stuff like that, but like the whole point is that you continue to allow this behavior. Somebody continues to change and become that way. So like you don't allow it. You don't allow the behavior. You don't allow Trump and people like him to get away with these things, or they keep getting away with it. So just like me driving down the highway, and you're trying to pretend like somehow that's going to make the bit rate shift around and stuff like that. If I, again, at no point did I lose any service whatsoever. And the whole point is that, you know, the moment that we do, that we start, you know, talking about this and documenting this, you know, here we are, where we have this ridiculous dynamic where we have to talk about this now, and this is what everybody's faced with. This is happening to everybody, where there's too much of this ridiculous dynamic going on where they can't even do what the fuck they were doing in the first place, where people can't stream and just play games anymore. And people can't just sit here and vlog anymore, because you got to be worried. You got to be worried that people are following you around, and then and then at the same time, police will actually use that. Police don't want you to stream, so they will use that as an excuse. Be like, oh, well, that's not safe for him to be doing that. I'll take care of myself. Somebody comes, tries to stalk me and attack me, they got another thing coming. Okay. I'll take care of myself. The whole point is that is identity theft and very fucking serious. And so they sit here and try to make a big deal out of this and that, you know, and try to be like, oh, well, I thought this guy was this, so why is he so worried about being doxxed? They try to act stupid to the point that they don't understand being doxxed and stuff like that. Well, you're a cop with a gun, and you sit here and charge somebody the very same day that you get doxxed. The moment that somebody's family is doxxed or something like that, those police are like out for blood, removing that day, charging those people for harassment. Then they suddenly understand. No, they get it. It's identity theft. The whole point is that it's not about that. It's literally about the fact that the anarchist, the troll, the asshole is just trying to put this stuff on blast, and you need to do something about that instead of trolling it yourself and trying to use it for something yourself. And that's what police do. They'll actually sit here and use things that are happening to other people, you know, and instead of doing something about it. And, you know, that's kind of what's happening. Where, you know, instead of actually doing something about the crime that I'm reporting and all this other stuff, all they're doing is just trying to make people that would vote the other way and stuff like that look bad. They're just trying to, you know what I mean, like use this as a political statement because they like Trump. Well, at least the people in this area that are doing this, they do. So that's what it is. And that's why it's political and stuff like that. And you know, again, if you can sit here and determine that somebody's attacking and harassing you for political means and stuff like that, and actually like actively affect, and it was a long period of time, yeah, that's terrorism. I mean, somebody is terrorizing you. So I just it's very obvious to me that ICE has these systems that are being used, like the facial rec and all these systems that they're using on their phones and in their car, and they're using it through AT&T's data, and then they're surprised when they use it on somebody like me, or, you know, like there's nothing. There are so many systems in place to protect me and protect somebody else that it lives in this country, and you're sitting here doing that. So yes, it literally causes those problems. And all of those systems start trying to do something to protect my identity. So it starts messing around with the system and stuff like that because it knows you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So somebody has been following you around, digitally note-taking and using me to do this. And it's the unfortunate side of it, but that's what they're doing. So meanwhile, all these police are so dumb, they don't understand that this is what's happening. That on a federal level, somebody is... I tried to warn them. I tried to tell them, it's all being documented, you're being investigated, you're an idiot. I tried to warn them, but this is how separated and unattached they are to what's going on. They don't even understand. We are in the future, and technology grows way faster than you can even comprehend. So if I can sit here and I can tell you that somebody's screwing around with my stream and dropping that signal and stuff like that and intermittently shifting my bitrate around, yeah, of course they are. Are you kidding me? Like, what? Like, I can't even believe you would actually sit here and try to argue that in the modern world. Of course they are. Of course they are. And of course they're doing this for reactions and gauging these responses. And of course they're using it for manipulation. And of course there's somebody from the fucking CIA and the NSA and all these different things paying attention to it and documenting it. That's all that's happening. And you're just doing this over and over and over and over. You're just attacking me. You know, all this stuff that I talked about with... you do realize who I am, right? Okay. Should I say it already? Or should I just let that... Should I just let it... I don't know. I feel like some people are dumb and don't understand. Like, that are doing this, not you guys. I'm saying, like, the people that are doing this, some people that are doing this are dumb and don't understand. I really do think that. The NSA and the CIA, like essentially, like, you have to understand, like, they are aware, and they're not gonna sit here. It doesn't matter how much they don't like me, even if that were the case. It doesn't matter. The point is, I'm a citizen and this is happening to me. So they would sit here and they would absolutely want to track that and figure that out. That is absolutely what they're doing. So you're just doing this over and over and over and over is kind of stupid. And I warned you, but you didn't heed the warning and you just keep attacking. Okay, keep doing it. So should I tell the other streamers and tell everybody what I did? I Karen'd this thing. And the CIA knows that. They know that. I Karen'd this thing. And basically, you have to understand that that's a lot of what I do here, you know, is I was already somebody that knows, that clearly knows quality from crap and knows how to, he has a good bullshit detector and like, this is a skill. It is. And not everybody has it. And it's actually, quite frankly, something that a lot of people are missing. And so just the fact that I so accurately picked this apart, documented, showed it happening, there's no way. And here you are, just still doing it, actively doing these things, thinking that they're not tracking that. And again, like, now services have gone down. Now it is obvious. Now, like, all these other people are having problems and people are saying AT&T is shit and stuff like that. You really think that they're not going to do something? You really think that it's not going to... be investigated. All of this is not coming to light and being hidden because Donald Trump doesn't know what he's doing. Okay? So yes, they're finding out, they just don't know what to do about it. So that's the problem. Okay, something's going to be done, they're fools. And he'll never admit to this. So once people that are competent come in, he's going to make them not look competent, trust me. But that's what the Democrats do, and that's what these folks do. And eventually he's going to have to, otherwise we're going to lose. You know, otherwise, yeah, obviously that's who does clean things up and fix things at the end of the day. We know that. So, that's all that's happening, is that Donald Trump doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He does not know what the fuck he's doing. That's it. So, just give it time. And again, you think that it's not going to happen, you're a fool. You're just a blatant fool. I'm not gonna sit here and give some of his tells away, because I'm an analyst and it's what I do, and I'm actually possibly one of the best on the planet. I've come to realize that at this point. And I know how that sounds. It is what it is. I'm not gonna sit here and give you Donald Trump's tells, but he has some. And that's why it's being used. That's why some people have figured it out, but I won't sit here and tell you what they are. And aside from that, it doesn't matter. You're still caught. They're still watching it. And you're a fool. And yes, I'm aware that you are also the same group that is sitting here following around the January 6th stuff. It's pretty obvious. Your trackers are all attached to this. It's that easy. So, you could have made yourself smart. You could have, like, this is the point. This is how you fix evil. Like you help people. You could have sat here and used your knowledge and stuff like that to help people and stuff, but you just choose to try to steal and hurt people and stuff. That's that's not gonna last. You will. I've said this before. I've said this so many times before. I've said this for years. That, it's a matter of perspective. But in the end, good will win. Good will triumph. And the reason that I know that is because it must. Because, when pushed to the very last limit, the whole point is that man and woman will do what's right, will make the right call, will not go blindly into the night. They will make the right call. They will eventually see that we are all for the same cause. Again, Democrats, voters and stuff. It's not a push to the few here and there that sound crazy. It really is the few here and there. It's not a giant push to overly govern things and and stuff like that and whatnot. It's not that. It's not. You know, it really is just what it is. It is literally just the push to sit here and hold people accountable for the things that they are not doing that should be basic decency, human decency, basic human decency, the concepts that, and I'll admit that I didn't understand this either, that like certain things, just because men were raised a certain way in this country, and other countries too. I mean, this is the thing, men and women have their roles, and the whole point is that you need to move past that and understand that that's not a real thing. That's something that was forced on society, on people, because of slavery, because of rights, not having rights, because again, for so long we exist in a society where we're taught, again, men and women have separate identifiers and separate things to keep it separate in your mind. They are not equal. So that way it keeps it separate in your mind. Except they are. That's the point. They are equal. Just because there's some differences in the anatomy, it doesn't change that they remain equal. Just there's some differences. So the whole point is to endlessly create this evolutionary thing where again, men, and it worked, just like with Nazism and stuff like that, to try to use evolution to fool people, to be evil. You create a superior race, eventually that race becomes, through evolution, through generations, eventually DNA takes over and makes it that way, but it's through forced generations of, again, doing the wrong, evil thing. So the whole point is, if you just let it be, everybody would have evolved. Like essentially we would see a different outcome. There probably would be a lot of different things about people that should have evolved in a healthier way where they didn't. Again, where women are much more smaller in the upper body and stuff like that. They weren't typically the workers and men were and stuff like that. We just evolved differently because of these roles in society, these roles that we have for people. And it's not right. You shouldn't do that. And again, like I said, even I admit that I did this with like the whole actor-actress thing. Now I get it. I even had to ask that question a while back, and the whole point was nobody came in chat to explain why you would not do that anymore. So the whole point is I'm trying to explain it, because now I get it. Because even I didn't get it. I didn't understand, well, whatever, it's just a word. Like, we've always used this, why does that matter? Well, because the whole point is exactly what I just said. Because for so long we did that, and then evolution teaches men that this is what you should do, and then the whole point is it makes women this way through generations. It's not right. They should have just had the same arms as you. It's just that we always treated them this way, and the whole point is that actor-actress title, separating them, does that. It gives them that role, where now, instead of being a main character or something, they must fill some sort of sexualized position in the movie, because that's what the actress does. So that's the whole point. And this is why too many guys, and this is why it's like an agenda, it's a woke, because you notice the trend where too many guys do this, where just because there's a female lead in a video game, now that game must be canceled and it's woke and stuff like that, just because they're trying to give the main character more to the female, because they recognize that we've done this for too fucking long. Like all the viral shorts and videos years ago where You know, like the hilarious one, you know, I think of the hilarious one where it's like showing the difference between the armor of the guy and the female in the game, you know? And it's like, you know, she's like all ticked off because she has to wear something that like isn't just not even armor, you know? And she's like, really? This is what I'm, you know? Like, it was just super funny, and like that was the whole point, is that hit home for a lot of people, and that showed immediately, stuff like that, the problem. So then that people are like, cancel it, you know, and no, like that's where you should arrive at. You should laugh at that and move forward. That is kind of funny, but at the same time it's not. We should move forward from that and never do that again. And so while you have the freedom to do that, and stuff like that, and you know, I really don't think, and now hear me out too, I don't think that you should make people feel bad, and like if a young guy that's single or something like that wants to sit here and ogle over a female character in a video game or a movie or something like that, who cares? Don't make this his problem. Don't do that to him. Because now he's angry at every female that acts like that. Don't do that. Just if he acts like this to you and treats women this way and that's his problem, okay, then you start down that route. But the whole point is, don't single him out just because he does this with this video game. How do you know that that's what he expects of women? You know, I mean, women look at shirtless guys and stuff like that. They sit here and pretend like they don't, but they do. And so, like, the whole point is it goes both ways. Like, just like any video game on the planet, a woman that wants to ogle a guy, she can do that. All she's got to do is play freaking God of War or something. That dude is jacked and huge or something like that, you know? And so the point is that while they might not necessarily want to, some may. And so you have to be accepting of that culture. You can't push away a culture of people just because these people like sex. That's the problem. The problem is not accepting a whole culture of people just because you think it's bad or inherently terrible, and that's what's corrupting society. No. It's media and advertising using women, and real women, and selling them this way. A video game? I don't fucking care. A video game? An anime? I don't care. And so therefore you can have these women that decide to dress this way or act this way or be this way. But again, remember, that's a real person now. So just because they're wearing what they're wearing, you do not get to sexualize them. Okay? Yes, they clearly want to be looked at, but respect them. You don't walk up and try to assault them just because they're looking cute. Okay? Do you think that because I'm wearing a nice tie and stuff like that you get what I'm saying? I don't have women walking up and trying to kiss me, and so women don't do that. So why are guys doing it? Do you get what I'm saying? No woman, like almost never. Okay? So the whole point is because women can. It like literally, like, men are evolved to a point where they shouldn't be, where the woman should have every ability to do the terrible thing that all these men are doing to women, so that way you can see it's not really You know what I mean? Like, it's more of a culture issue where we're treating this wrong. And so, like, the whole point is that you can't see that side of it. So you always think it's just men, but really the problem is culture. You just really don't accept and reject people for their ideas and their culture. And so, therefore, this person is very hateful now to these types of people and stuff like that. And so we don't look at this like prejudice, like racist. It's not educating enough. We don't educate people to understand and figure this out and deduce it like I've just done, where we can lay it out like this and we can go, that's a problem. Again, you shouldn't just implicitly cancel anybody that likes hot or attractive or like, who cares? Who cares? If that person is married or not married, and again, the person that they are with is fine with it, or the person that they are not with is fine with it, or again, it's their situation and it's got nothing to do with you and it's none of your fucking business. So again, unless there's somebody being taken advantage of or something like that, harmed, none of your business. So this is the problem, is that we make people feel this way and stuff like that. But Again, that is not an excuse. We don't walk up and assault people. And let me just say one thing. Let me just clear something up, okay? Somebody that throws their phone at your face, that is somebody that is assaulting you already. They have assaulted you already. They are continually doing it. And they're doing it over a long period of time, okay? They're throwing their phone at you. A phone weighs a certain amount. It can damage your body. It can injure you, okay? It weighs a certain amount. This is a projectile. Okay, and you don't even need to tell them to stop. You don't need to, but you tell them repetitively to stop. Yeah, this person has now a history of assaulting you and injuring you. Yes. Okay. So again, I just want to throw that out there for people that you know, if you're wondering where I'm coming from with that stuff. Again, I do not condone. Oh my God, that is terrible. That is terrible. So no, that's awful. But the point is, her and anybody like her should be able to dress however the fuck they want without guys looking at it like that. Call her cute. Tell her, I mean, if you want to tell her she's hot, fine. But, like, call her cute or tell her outfit's cute or something like that. Don't sit here and sexualize the shit out of it. And then if she gives you, if you give her enough respect and she gives you enough respect long enough, and you earn that, fine. That's a little different. But, like, you know, I'm sure she'd be, like the whole point is, like, one of her friends, like, if Asmongold said she was hot or something like that, people would think that shit's fucking hilarious because he doesn't say it. Because everybody knows Asmongold is the opposite of that. He stands for sticking up for women and stuff like that. And so the whole point is that it would just be fucking hilarious because it's Asmongold, you know? So, like, that's the whole point, is you would own that in that moment because everybody respects you as somebody that always did that and stood up for that. And so now they know that about you, so now it's funny. So that's the whole fucking point. And so my point then is, if you always make people feel this way and you always attack one person and stuff and make them feel this way, for sure. But again, don't think that I'm talking about that situation, because I'm not. I'm not talking about that situation. That situation is terrible. She was absolutely assaulted. And that piece of shit should be sued. There's no doubt in my mind that guy is a piece of garbage, okay? Period, end of discussion. That, everybody's situation's different. So that's my point. Don't get involved. It's got nothing to do with you. I wasn't even going to talk about it, but I figured since mentioning the stuff that I mentioned, I would at least mention that that's not at all what I'm talking about. I'm just saying everybody's situation is different. That really is the gist of what's going on. Is there's just too much of misunderstanding of this and that, and everybody just blows up and hates each other. So, again, I do not oh my God, I do not defend that piece of garbage that did that to somebody as nice as Emmy. But again, every situation's different, so that's not necessarily the case in a different situation, is all I'm saying. You know, it's not at all. It's just that situation. I gotta get a drink here. I'm gonna throw this away. I gotta get a drink. I realize that I do not need my sunglasses any longer. I don't know why I'm wearing them. It's completely dark. I'll be back. Okay. Bookadoo. 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 What the fuck? I wonder if this gas station knows that it says that it's $10 a gallon for gas. I don't think they know. It's not actually. Like, that'd be absurd. I think it's like, it just says all nines. I think it just like needs to be set. That's funny. Yeah, and there's like nobody there either. It just says all nines. It says $9.99 for both of the fuel types that they have. Which also doesn't make any sense because there's a significant price difference in diesel versus normal gasoline. And I'd imagine it's just, they probably, just having two types is probably just, the standard 87 and then whatever, like diesel. Yeah, I think diesel is expensive like that. But diesel is higher gas mileage. That's why. The justification for higher gas mileage. People say it's more efficient engine and stuff like that. But, I mean, I just think that comes down to engine design a lot of times. Chilly. Well, it's getting a little chilly now. Reducing temperature. The sun has set, so the sun has set. The sun has set. Yo, this dude is watching YouTube while he's driving. Are you kidding me? What the hell? Okay, when you guys are gonna bitch about me doing that with streaming, that dude is watching YouTube while he's driving. He had no other passengers, and he had the device clipped on his air vent. And it was a YouTube short he was watching. I could see it. It was plain as day. Now, he did have it clipped to the air vent. He wasn't, holding it. So I will say that for him. Alright, now that's a little bit, like, you know, like, if I can see you're watching a freaking video, like, my point is that I very clearly go to great lengths to not look at this, you know, like, I try not to interact, like, I'm just gonna pay attention to the road, man. I am not gonna sit here and, why would I do that? This, like, I never understood that. I would never understand why people get in a vehicle that could harm you or others, go the speed that they're going down the road, and then proceed to do all these things that would, like, I just, again, like, you're not giving enough responsibility to what you're doing, because you do it so regularly. You're not, you like it, you just, you know, it's not a danger to you anymore, so you don't take the same precautions. You get what I'm saying? It's like, all right, for example, imagine if, you know, like the whole point is, like, imagine if Tom Cruise, you know how he does all his, like, really dangerous stunts and stuff, you know, and he doesn't have a stunt man, he does all his own stunts, you know, and oftentimes he does stuff so dangerous, people are like, look, man, let's just do something else, you know, or something like that. And the whole point is that he goes, no, as long as we do it safely, we can do it properly. And that's the whole point, is you know, if you do something safe, you're fine. But like all these people just take these liberties, and then the whole point is that you have to try to regulate, do something about all the dumb people that are taking advantage of the freedoms that we do have. So the whole point is that guy ruins it. The guy in his giant truck watching YouTube on his phone ruins it for us, not the people legitimately trying to do the right thing. That's who's ruining it, is those freaking people, man. So, you know, and all the people that are, like, you're behind them on the road, you can see that they can't even go a certain speed, and they're, like, drifting to the side, and then they correct, they drift to the side, they correct. Somebody texted. They're looking down at their phone. That person, yes, that's a behavior, that's a pattern, you can pull that person over. I just, again, like, that's where I think you could use definitive rule sets versus, you know, the wording that has been used in the past. That's all I'm saying. If I can drive up, like, a GPS, like, I don't know, like, GPS, like, that to me sounds more like that's the whole thing where you're thinking about the road, you're trying to do something for the road, for your situation, and you're trying to dictate whether or not somebody can and can't use a GPS at a traffic light. That's stupid, in my opinion. But if you want to pull up to somebody and say that you want to put a law in there that states that if I can see a video playback on a screen in your view, that's different. Because, like, the GPS and stuff, like, it has the road on it, that, like, you're paying attention to what you're doing. Like, you're not necessarily distracted from that. So you're just splitting hairs there. You're trying to sit here and dictate what people do. You're not thinking about it properly. In my opinion, yes, that's the way it should be. It should be the thing where it's not necessarily a screen, but, you know, like, the whole point is if I can see video playback. Yeah, that's an eyewitness, that's a cop now seeing video playback on a device. Yeah. And you wouldn't have to look all through the phone to prove it either. You could just be like, well, if that's not the case, would you mind showing me your YouTube history or something like that? And then they act all funny. There you go. There's your suspicious behavior. It's just as simple as that. And you wanna have all your conversations and stuff, and use something, well, there you go, there's something. Like, to me, that's common sense. But I just think the whole GPS thing is the wrong message. And I think that the whole trying to get people to not stream and stuff, that's the wrong message, too. You always want people in public. Because these people, like, think about the amount of things that happen in the public where a streamer prevented something from happening and stuff like that just because they were there with themselves and their group and they stopped, like, a stalker situation or something like that. That's always good. The whole point is that that's the reality, is that actually is happening. Oh, yeah, alright, so notice the interference there as I say that. So notice that interference, the bitrate shift, as I say that a streamer is helping people, and stuff like that, a stalker situation. Because that is a perfect example of them trying to break up what I'm saying, where you would hear about like everybody knows about that. These guys are idiots if they think that people don't know about that. It's literally like one of the biggest streamers on the planet it happened to. And you think people don't know about that? You're an idiot. That's the problem. These cops are stupid as fuck, and they don't understand that, like, people have known about this for a while. So, like, you literally don't know about that? Okay. It's as basic as looking up the fact that some person ran up to a streamer, like essentially, like, saw the group of people and there was a guy chasing, and, like, they stood there and, like, chased after him. And I'm not talking about staging. Yes, there's staging going on. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actual things that actually happen. I will admit that there are some big streamers that do stage things like that, and it's kind of obvious. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actual streamers that actually happen to. I don't know that there was more than one big one that it happened to, but it's also not the only streamer that it happened to. There's been some, like, other streamers that weren't as big that it happened to as well. And so that's what you have to realize is having these people, film in public and exercising that right to do so. That is a right that you have. The whole point is that within that. So we're going to go ahead and document that it shifted right as I said that, and there really was no reason for it to do. We're going to document that it is maliciously shifting around. As I said that police should use streamers as their eyes instead of causing problems for them. So the bit rate is extraordinarily malicious, right as I mentioned that police should be using streamers as their eyes instead of causing problems for them. And again, I'm going to document that there was no problem with the service. The service, essentially would have been perfectly fine and well enough to support the bit rate that it has been supporting the entire stream. Yet, right as I mentioned that police should be using streamers as a tool, as a positive tool, as their eyes, instead of causing problems for them, we see a bitrate shift where they're trying to silence that so that you can't hear it. Because again, that's the intelligent, reasonable way to look at that. Obviously, where resources are stretched thin with policing, obviously your eyes, are these streamers that are in the public and they're already there, and you can see that, these things unfold. I mean, it's as basic as knowing that somebody continuously tailgates me and swerves around on the road. And, illegally passes all over the place around here, so all you'd really have to do is patrol those areas. Because that's where people are used to getting away with those things. So again, right as that happened and I explained that, we saw a huge dip in the bit rate where they were trying to cut out what I was saying. So basically, again, what I was saying was just that, if the resources are stretched thin for police and stuff like that, you would want to use streamers in a positive light. Essentially we're out in public and stuff like that. We're the eyes, and we don't have to do anything. We're just there. It happens. It's a witness, and you see it on the stream. So again, it's not anything but that, and you can just go there, and see for yourself. That's just ridiculous to think that you shouldn't use it that way. And then again, at minimal risk to the streamer then too, because again, the streamers just happens to be there, so you don't want to cause problems for the person that's sitting there and you were able to do something because they caught that on stream or something like that. You want to reward that. You don't want to have a consequence for somebody that essentially is catching all of these things and stuff like that. And then again, likewise, causing problems for somebody too, where the bit rate shifts around conveniently. The section of the stream is missing, right? Right when I would say the reasonable take and stuff like that. So, I do think that, again, there is something going on. I don't want to say too much about it specifically, but yeah, it's being investigated, and I think they figured out the cause. I do. I just don't think that they can fix it immediately right now. And I think you're going to continue to have a lot of service and a lot of problems throughout the Trump administration because they will not fix this issue. This issue will make them look bad. So they won't fix it, and they'll try to divert your attention. So that's kind of what's going on, and they're doing it. They're fixing it in silent, where they lie about what's actually happening, and then send a crew to fix it in silent and stuff like that. Yeah, that's going to happen more. And unfortunately, the problem with that is then you're lying to the company, and now the company doesn't understand why this really happened, and you're lying on an official level to this company. It's really bad. It's really, really, really bad. And so then the company addresses it wrong. That's the issue. The issue is that they're lying. Oh, gosh. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say too much. But yeah, it's basically the Trump administration caused these things to happen, caused all these problems through essentially no infrastructure, basically lies, this sort of thing where all these people from certain other organizations that were doing these jobs and stuff like that, they couldn't do it right, and they screwed up, and it's happening on a really big scale, and that's all I'm going to say. Just remember, weaponizing stupidity is a real thing. I'm not trying to be rude or mean to the public. Weaponizing stupidity is an actual real thing that's happening. They're trying to weaponize this. So if they can make people dumber, essentially by making you think, oh, trust me. And then we get a disruption right as I say that. So again, to the CIA and the NSA are all aware of what you're doing, and it doesn't matter whether you sit here and intermittently do it again, it's just going to make you look incredibly guilty as I would happen to say that. And I'm not going to forget that I suddenly said it. I'm still going to say it. So that's the problem. They're hoping that I forget that I said something or something like that, and then they can cut it out of the stream, mess with the bitrate. Again, here is so important that they're trying to make sure that, kick people maliciously that low. I will prove it. I will prove that we have plenty of service to cover this bitrate. When it gets to 900 versus the 5,000 that it's supposed to be to do that. I won't forget, and I need you to hang around to hear this, because, they're trying to break this up. So this is the very thing that it is. Clearly, this is what they're doing. Clearly, this is something that this group of people... So, as you guys know, as soon as I mentioned what I mentioned earlier, the stream started breaking up. So you guys really need to hear this. Apparently this was something they were really trying to get you guys not to hear. So this is really, really super important. They are maliciously shifting this bitrate around and kicking people out of the stream so that you don't hear this. Okay, so you really need to hear this, apparently. Because that's what that means. If they're sitting here and they're causing malicious bitrate shifts to get you not to hear what I'm saying here, this is very real. This is happening. So again, I am going to restate what they did not want you to hear. And again, as I said this earlier, the bitrate became malicious, and I watched all of the viewers shift out of the stream. I watched many viewers, huge chunks of views, just suddenly shift out of the stream. So, what I was saying was that they want you at your job to essentially think that what you're doing is the right thing. And it's actually wrong. Like any of these people that might be fixing an issue or, an outage or something like that, just like with police, they want you to think that what you're doing is the right thing, but it's actually not. So essentially what they're trying to do is they're trying to get all these people to never learn something right. They're trying to weaponize what happens when somebody learns something wrong. And so they're getting all these professionals to think this is how you fix something, so that it fixes it for a period of time, but then breaks. Because again, the whole point is that if you remember a long time ago as a martial arts instructor, one of the things that I said on the internet, that I told people that maybe a lot of people don't even know. I think a lot of people don't realize this. And it was weaponized. And that is that if you teach somebody something, and they are taught wrong, just like all these guys that learn martial arts wrong and stuff like that, and they're stupid to another martial arts where they think that this martial art's better and stuff, and they just deny fact. The whole point is that the reason that they do that is because they were taught wrong. And so because they're taught wrong, now you are 2 to 3 times more likely to never even accept the new information and reprogram it, even from your own instructor. And I used to see this all the time. I would have even veteran students come back to me and swear up and down I didn't show them this form this way. They're like, I've never done it that way and stuff. No, in reality, that means that student never went home and practiced their form right away. So they forgot it. A couple days went by and they tried to practice it and can't remember what I showed them. So now they can't fill in those blanks. They skip sections, come back to me with a piece of a form that they practiced wrong because they didn't do it immediately after I showed it to them. They didn't practice it immediately enough. And so they started learning it wrong, thinking and never replacing the gaps of their memory that, again, they didn't do right in the first place because they didn't immediately go home and practice it. They waited until the next day or something like that and thought they were right. So the whole point is all they remember is all these times practicing the form this way, but can't remember the original way I showed them because, maybe we did it at the end of class really quick and they didn't have a chance to practice it or something, or something like that, where like just something, the dynamic changed and they were going to practice it, but they didn't, or something like that. And so now this person, thinks that you showed, it's like, no, and then you prove it. Basically, you ask, I would ask like somebody a higher sash. Okay, here, come over here if you don't mind. Would you mind demonstrating your form for us, please? And then he goes through the form. Okay, thank you. You can go back to what you're doing. The whole point is that that'll immediately prove to the student that that person has the exact same form that I'm trying to tell them that is right, because that student would be completely absent of the knowledge of this situation we're talking about here. So he's just going to go through his form organically like I showed it to him. So that proves that you're wrong. That student just goes right through their form, and it's the exact thing I'm trying to correct for you, that you are saying endlessly up and down that, it wasn't this way. So that's the whole point, is that not enough of this is happening where it's a Democrat-Republican thing, where stupid people are denying fact. They want to deny that this is the way to do something because a Democratic voter told them. Literally, that's it. This person voted for Joe Biden, and this Trump voter is such a piece of shit asshole that they could never actually listen to the advice of somebody that votes for Biden. Because again, that person's smart, thinks about things, and now again, you're not listening to that. So that's what's happening, where dumb people are just not understanding that they're dumb. That's it. And so they just do these things. Oh, it's right, and it's wrong. And then this is how it's being weaponized. Again, like I said, these foreign people, I've recognized the Trump voters are fucking idiots and won't accept new information. So they just endlessly do this and follow them around and fuck shit up. And these people are so dumb, they really will just make the same dumb mistake. And all it takes is for a Democratic voter, for them to find out that this person's like a Democratic voter or LGBTQ or something that this person would consider woke or whatever, and thus you're not going to listen to it just because you're stupid. And this is literally what you do with everything. And this is what's happening to this country. And meanwhile, the rest of the world just has their bag of popcorn. So I'm just putting that out there. This is what they don't want you to hear. They don't want you to hear that it's happening with police too, or police are doing this too. It's just everything. This is what police are doing too. They're not actually doing the right things. They're just illegally walking up to people and incriminating. And it's the same thing with these things. They try to make laws where they're trying to dictate what you do with your phone at a traffic light. I'm stopped at a traffic light and your law is trying to tell me that I can't adjust my GPS while I'm at a traffic light? No. Nope, unconstitutional. You are now trying to dictate what I do inside that car, inside my own vehicle. No, unconstitutional. No law should ever sit here and try to dictate what people sit and do in their own vehicles. You own that vehicle. You take care of it. You drive it down the road. It's sort of like a house for you. It's like your traveling house. And they're trying to dictate what you do inside that. No. Completely unconstitutional. This state does that a lot. But other states do that too. And this is what you need to pay attention to, is that on a state level, sometimes states are doing unconstitutional things. And this is what Obama used to fight against. He used to stick up for the Constitution and do the right thing. Now you have a president doing the opposite, where nobody's sticking up for what's right, and your state and all these assholes that want to take advantage of you can. And that's what's happening. So, you all recognized forever ago, and all these people that want to blame the government for everything, that they will take advantage of you if they can. So then you have all these successful Democrats that make sure that never happens, and you want to blame everything on the people that actually literally saved you and fixed the problem. Okay. Well, then you'll create the problem all over again because you're stupid. And that's what's going on. It's literally what's happening. Because you're dumb. I had to run inside, go to the bathroom real quick. Wow, I just got home, walked in the door, and 2 silent ads on the TV immediately. Wow. I love it. I love how scammers are trying to act like a data broker or anybody that has an ad would want it to play silently. Like literally 2 ads in a row. And they're local ads too. I can tell that it's because they're running trackers through the local ads trying to figure out, you know, the position and stuff like that and how that works. Like that's what it is. It's any ad that shows up where it's like a localized ad where it's you know, the trackers are being run through like my local area, so they can figure out where they're going and actually like trace them into my internet connection. So basically that's what they're doing. Like it's the local ones. It's not like the big ads and stuff that play for everybody. It's literally anytime it's supposed to be an ad where it's like somebody in the area paid for this ad slot, so now there's trackers and cookies on that, and it tells that scammer. So that's not supposed to be happening yet. The very second I get here, and again, as I already explained this before, you know, like this is a pretty recurring thing that it's like super obvious at, you know, certain times and stuff like that. But that's another thing that I noticed, that a lot of times it's happening on the local ones, where it's just not on another ad. So that's interesting. But you know, it's not only those. It's just a pattern I noticed, but it's with them a lot. So I think that's the case. If you just tell that to some of the people that are looking into it. But yeah, basically, you watch your TV provider and stuff like that. They're playing those ads, and then they just suddenly mute. You know, no music, no narration. The ad is just suddenly muted. That's that'll really piss off that advertiser. That'll really piss them off. Like, they're paying money for that, and you're just muting it. So, and that's pretty much just I shouldn't even say pretty much, that's every single day. It's like multiple ads every day, and I have no doubt I'm not the only one. And just like with the YouTube app, where I play a Black Label Society music video the very day it comes out, it should be playing ads. It's not. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. And, you know, seconds into the video, it's force quitting the app for hours. And then I start recording what's happening, and it stops. It stops doing it suddenly. Wow. Magic. Like that is just, it's magic, isn't it? How that works. I'll be back. Yeah. Well, anyway, I can't imagine there's really much reason for me to continue streaming at this point. We went on our mission. We had the usual interference with the stream, as I documented. We'll never stop. We'll document that and call that out. Yeah, So as far as the mission, when it's over, you'll know. I'll let you know. But you know, it's only just starting. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but we gotta get there. You know. So again, thanks for watching. But I'm probably gonna get off. Probably gonna get going here. So I appreciate the viewership. I appreciate the chat, even if I couldn't interact while I was like, you know, out and about and stuff like that. It's always nice to see people chatting and read that after the fact. You know, I can always get caught up. So I appreciate that. And the support on all the streams. Appreciate you guys watching. Give me your support and everything. Thank you for supporting me and for listening to the message, what we're trying to document. The show has been going on and happening to everybody. Again, it's not just this platform. It's not just streaming and It's everybody. It's how the impact of this cancel culture that's happening to the U.S. affects the rest of the world because of the U.S., because of who we are, because of what that means to society, and how big the impact really is, and what it all means, and that you should make fun of it, and that, you know, the more you make fun of it, the more it's going to attack you and get. The more that concept is trolled, the more they win. So just remember that. So thank you. Appreciate your support, guys.